Hi, I'm Garrett Halstein and I am an IBM software developer. Now, I actually came from a non-traditional path and I don't have a computer science degree. The way I got into software development, or coding in general, is that I took a computer science class in my last year of college. At that point, I decided that I really was passionate about coding and software development, and I wanted to see if I could pursue a career path in it. By hearing about all the success stories online about people coming from non-traditional paths, either through coding bootcamps or self-taught development, I came to the conclusion that I could probably do it on my own if I put in the work and time. So when I already decided that I wanted to pursue this career path, I had to think of how I would get there. And I was very conflicted between trying to do it on my own or going through a coding bootcamp, which provided a little more assurance. I ultimately decided on going with the coding bootcamp because I found one that fit the goals that I wanted and also seemed like a good deal for me. It was Flatiron School, Access Labs, and it offered a deferred tuition plan that allowed me to pay no upfront tuition. I can definitely see how self-taught and coding bootcamps are both viable options. And you can definitely save a lot more money if you go the self-taught route, so it's something to consider. So before I even started my coding bootcamp, I did my research, and I didn't just rely on what I was going to learn at that coding bootcamp to get to where I wanted to be. And I'm definitely happy I did that because I found a lot of different things that I had to do that I wasn't going to be learning at my coding bootcamp. And the main thing is definitely the more computer science heavy stuff that you don't really learn at coding bootcamps because those are more focused on projects. And that was data structures and algorithms. These are what you typically get at technical interviews, and you have to be able to solve these algorithms in order to pass the interviews and move on. So if you decide on pursuing a career in software development, the first thing you should definitely do is take an intro to computer science course. When I was halfway through my intro course, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And that's a good way of judging if it's for you, because intro courses can be dry and they also can be weed out courses. So if you're enjoying it at least a little bit, then that's a very good indicator that software development or coding might be a career for you. So there's a lot of great intro to computer science courses online taught by reputable universities that you can take for free, such as Harvard CS50, such as MIT's OpenCourseWare right here on YouTube, and you can definitely get a lot out of those. They are a little more time consuming than just learning how to code, but the amount of knowledge you get from those specific intro classes are very crucial to mastering technical interviews. So because I already knew data structures from the intro class I took, I was able to go headfirst into solving algorithms. And I used Cracking the Coding Interview and Elements of the Programming Interview. They're very similar books. However, Elements of the Programming Interview is available in multiple languages. Also, taking advantage of popular LeetCode questions is another thing you can definitely do. So my time at the bootcamp was actually splitting time between studying for technical interviews, which meant solving algorithms, and actually doing the work at the coding bootcamp, which mainly consisted of learning how to build software, learning how to build projects to put on my portfolio and be able to talk about during the interviews. So both of those topics are very important. I did not actually get any technical interview prep at the coding bootcamp I went to, and that's why it was so important that I knew data structures and algorithms coming in, took that computer science class, and was able to solve algorithms on my own. I really enjoyed the community at the bootcamp, and it was really a great experience to get started with coding. So if you're on the fence or interested in attending a coding bootcamp, check out my channel. Now, the most dreaded part of the journey is definitely the job search. And although that was pretty short for me, it lasted around 1 to 2 months, it still felt like eternity while I was in it. So let's talk about a couple of tips related to the job search. The first most important tip on applying to jobs is making sure your resume is ready. The reason why your resume is so important is because it's the way employers are going to be screening you to see if you're worth going through with an interview. So you want to make sure it has all the relevant tech skills and projects you've been working on and all the experience that you have related to tech. That's the most important part. I do have a resume video where I go over my own resume that you can definitely check out. The other most important thing for your interviews are your technical interview skills. For your coding challenges, for your in-person interviews where engineers might ask you technical interview questions related to algorithms. This is why it's really important for you to practice this beforehand, because yes, if your resume is good enough, you can get through the screenings, but if your technical interview skills are not up to par, if you can't solve certain algorithms, you're not going to be able to pass the coding challenges or the in-person interviews. Know your algorithms, know your data structures, and do that in advance because that stuff is going to take a while for you to understand and get comfortable with. My last tip is you should take each interview you have, analyze how it went. What was the reason you didn't get through? Was it because they screened your application, your resume, and they didn't like it and they decided to tell you no at that point? Is it because you took a coding challenge and they said no at that point? You should really analyze what is happening because there's always room for improvement and there are always more software developer jobs rolling out. So that's a little bit of my journey of becoming a software developer from a non-traditional path. On my YouTube channel, I cover stuff related to becoming a software developer, tech. Hopefully you find it helpful. Thank you for watching.